Hey guys, Jeff here, Dice Setters. This weekend, I will be in Vegas. I have all my stuff on notes. I don't want to miss anything because this one to me is pretty important. Dice setting, fiction or fact? When I was aboard the Carnival Inspiration, which is decommissioned about 10 years ago, I did it's either a 5 or 7 day cruise. I don't remember which one. So the first night when they opened the casino, the craps table was completely full. And one thing I noticed right off the bat is people that set their dice didn't really matter what they had on top, but when they did that, they rolled longer. That's the first thing I noticed. Now, I've been playing crap since I was 18 in South Lake Tahoe and other places. I had just moved back from Alaska. I was in Texas. Texas does not have craps tables, they don't have casinos. So I wouldn't say this is new to me, but it was just a game I really liked and I wanted to play it again. So it's not that the craps table was new, but that was the first time I ever saw the all tall small. So being with such a long cruise, when they'd open up the craps table, a lot of times there wasn't anybody there but me. And I started actually that night, even though the internet was so much more slower than it is now, I looked up videos about putting different numbers on top. I didn't know what it was called, and I found out that this is the practice called dice setting or dice manipulating, whatever you want to say. And by watching some videos, and again, I don't even remember whose videos I watched, I was able to sit there and show, they showed me that if you had threes on top of V3, that seemed to work pretty good. So I went back to the craps table. I was the only one there, and I would put money on the all tall small, and I would slowly roll them. They did hit the back of the table using the 3V, and lo and behold, I would get one or the other or all three, all tall, small. And at first it was like one in every 10 rolls. Then it got to be like every 5 rolls I would hit it, and then it got to be better and better. I found out that it didn't take much practice, just throwing, to see results. I grew up in the 80s. I grew up in the start of video games. My favorite games were Legend of Zelda and Super Mario Brothers. And in those games, there were cheats. Sometimes you found them on your own. Sometimes you had to wait for a catalog to come out and then look at the cheat codes. Or you would sit there and as people were shopping, you would sit there and take it, look at it, and then you try to memorize it or write it down. And those were cheat codes. So to me, immediately in my mind, this was a cheat code. I had found the craps cheat code. And the craps cheat code was you've got to have the dice in a certain position and roll it a certain way. And 5 out of 10 times, well, out of 5 tries, you get the all tall small, or one of them. That's pretty good, especially $5 table. And I only had $1 on the all tall small. So $8 at risk, not bad. And that's where dice setting for me started. Let's move off to Juan Soto. Last week I talked about Juan Soto and how he sat there and got the $765 million 15-year contract. I got this article from March 18th, 2021. This is talking about what he does to become the person that he is. He's only played on 3 different teams. Very young player. He does a running program, agility program, so he does a lot of things to prepare himself. But he has a crazy routine when it comes to hitting, where he does a soft toss, tee work, the velo machine, the breaking ball machine. He does everything. I know one thing, that kid will be prepared before he steps on the field because he gets himself ready. People sit there and talk about dice setting, dice manipulation as fake. They drop dice on the table. See, it's impossible. Those to me are people that aren't like Juan Soto. Those are people that don't want to put in the practice, that don't want to put in the time. Because I tell you what, I have yet to meet somebody that put in the time, put in the practice, got their own table, took lessons from a dice coach, applied the lessons from that dice coach, and would come up to me and go, you know what, I just throw it and let her go. I let her rip, tater chip. I have yet to find that person. The people that do tell me that dice setting don't work, they're the ones that don't want to put in the time. Go back to the inspiration, Carnival Cruise. I did not have to put in much time. I watched a few videos. Yes, it took a long time for it to load up, but I was not doing much. I was on board a ship. And then when I got back to the craps table when it was open, I followed through. I practiced a little bit, and before you know it, I knew the cheat code. Those that want to make fun of dice setting, that sit there and say it's not real, truly lazy? I have no idea. Or they don't want to win. One of the two. When I first built this table, from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock, I would practice. That's after working a 8 to 12 hour day. That's all I would sit there and do is practice. I didn't even go visit a casino yet because I wanted to make sure that my practice was spot on. Now, my biggest fear was what happens if my bounce is different than the casino bounce. So I was like, man, I got to try this. After 2 months, I'm like, I could be actually going the wrong direction because my bounce might be different. You know what? My bounce was different, but that practice I put in, it paid off. Because when I got to the table, people were like, wow. People knew I had put in the time. Same thing with Juan Soto. You look at Juan Soto and you go, wow, he put in the time and the practice. Special note about Juan Soto. It was the World Series game, I think it was either 2 or 3. I had a parlay bet that Juan Soto would hit a home run, and so would Ohtani. Parlay, for those of you that don't know it, it's kind of a wild bet, and you got to have all of them, to hit. Sometimes you can have as much as a 6 or 7 parlay bet, and sometimes they can be spread out in a couple of days. But those were my two parlay bets. Both people had to hit a home run, and Juan Soto got his early. Ohtani got up there. He did not get a home run. 7th inning, Ohtani got up there. He did not get a home run, got on base, and then he injured his shoulder. So I was like, well, there's no possible way for him to make it back in the 9th. He has a shoulder injury. But that's my story about sports betting on Juan Soto. Dice setting is not, I'm going to repeat this, dice setting is not saying, I'm going to roll a 6 and then doing so. However, 3 videos back, I showed you how to dice set and how to get the numbers you want to come up. And I said, let's try doing a midnight. Midnight, one of the hardest numbers to roll, next to 1. I rolled once, it didn't hit. I rolled twice, I got a midnight. I didn't call out the numbers, but I said, let's try to do it. And on the second roll, it did happen. What is this called? This is called an edge. And on some tables, your edge can be reduced. On other tables, your edge can be significantly greater. And there's some things that change your edge. And some things are basically like shooting yourself in the foot. The edge has many factors. One would be how hard have you been practicing? Were you practicing that week before you went to the casino? Has it been a month since you practiced? Has it been 6 months since you practiced? How long has it been since you practiced? One thing that's really clear to me is that your mind has got to be completely clear. You cannot have drama in your mind as you're trying to dice it. It just won't work. If it's like the Phil Donahue show going on at the craps table, and I've seen this, I have seen bursts of anger and frustration. That's the time to walk away. It's taking off of that edge. you only have a slight amount. And things can improve the edge, and some things can bring back down the edge. But you don't want drama happening around you. You don't want that to enter your head. You want a clean mind while you're dice setting, while you're shooting. What distractions are around you? Sometimes even the pit boss can become a distraction. People coming in, laying their money down, and you're in the middle of a long roll. Distractions. Another thing, for those people that say, well, I did practice and it doesn't work. Perhaps the table is too bouncy that you're trying to dice set on. There are tables that are too bouncy. You'll never be able to dice set correctly on that table because it's too bouncy. Another one, are you in the best position that you like to shoot from at the craps table? If you're not, you should not even play. If you look at Juan Soto, he is an outfielder. He's practiced for outfielding. First opening day game, they go, Juan Soto, we want you to play first base. I imagine he'd make a great first baseman. But that's not what he's training for. He's training for outfield. That's his position. If you're practicing L1, R1, L2, R2, the corner, the end, whatever it might be, don't settle for something second best. And if you do, don't shoot. Don't sit there and say, well, this is not my spot, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyways because I'm here at the casino. Don't do that. You might as well just throw your money away. If you put in the effort, you can never say, dice setting never works. But you got to show me that you put in the effort. You got to show me that you're listening to the dice coaches that are trying to help your game. You're going to the right dice coaches. I've never gone to a dice coach, so I can't say. But those that have, praise them pretty much highly. It wasn't until I took this one class and then my game way improved. But you've got to take what they give you in the class and not just put it in your pocket. You got to sit there and take it and use it. You paid money for it. Just because you think it's going to make you a better craps player just by taking the course, that's idiotic. You've got to apply what you learn. So in this video, I am going to do dice setting from the same spot. And then once I 7 out, I will sit there and return with just random rolling from the same spot. I did on my phone get the definition of random, and I did not write this in my notes. But take a look at the definition of random. I've had people sit there and comment, well, once it hits the table, it becomes random. No. Random, according to the dictionary, says it has a starting point and an ending point. A starting point and an ending point. That is precise. You chose that position, and you place those dice at that position. You can have a bad landing zone. You can sit there and say, wow, I missed my mark. But it's not random. Random is helter-skelter, here we go, let her fly. That's random. Even though I started at the same spot for both of the, was one video, but for both instances, it does not make the random player a non-random player because he started from the same spot. That just happens to be the spot that he's standing at. But I was, shake them up, everything else, but it's still in the same spot. But the way they leave the hands, the way they are grabbed, the way that the numbers are on top are completely random. There is no organization to the dice, nor organization of where the dice fingers, or where I put my fingers around the dice, all of that. If you're still skeptical of dice setting and say it doesn't work, it's impossible, dice influencing, whatever you want to call it, put in the effort. I challenge you. You don't even need a table. I did it while I was on a cruise. And all I was doing was pass line and bonus. All tall, small. That's all I was doing. I was doing nothing more than that. And I was staying alive because I'd hit a small or a tall or the all. By myself, free practice. Well, it really wasn't free, but my $100 lasted me until I quit playing. I would go up and down, up and down. But it was free practice to me. And it didn't take me long. Within 3 hours, I knew exactly this is the role that I want. In fact, when they left my hands, I could almost tell you, oh, that's going to be a 7. Because I saw the results, the same results. I knew that if this one dice would tumble a certain way, it would be a 7. So I made sure that that one dice did not tumble that way. And I was able to hit the all, tall, small. Just within every 5 rolls, I'd hit all, tall, or small. Dice setting does work, but it doesn't work if you don't want to put in the time. Most people don't want to put in the time. They put the time in for everything else, but they won't put in the time for doing winning. It's no different than blackjack. If you want to do the best you can at blackjack, you've got to sit there and know, what do you split? You split aces and eights. That's the only thing you split. You might disagree, but from what I see, you only split aces and eights. You don't split nines, you don't split jacks, don't split kings, you don't split queens, you don't split tens. Aces and eights are the only thing that you split. If you have a 14 and they have a up 5, you sit there and wave your hand and say no, in hopes that their bottom card is a 10, and then hopefully the next card they get is a 10. You know strategy. You know that is blackjack's edge. What if you didn't use that edge whatsoever? You're just like, yeah, try to get as close to 21. That's my main objective. Well, truly it is, but there are some times you don't want a card. Even if you have 13, there are times you don't want a card. 13 to 21, that's a big span. There are a lot of little cards that would get you closer to 21, but it all depends upon what the dealer's card is. That is your edge. Craps does have an edge. I wish we could shuffle the cards at blackjack. That'd be really cool. Here, let me shuffle these cards. But you can't. But you can roll the dice at a craps table. That's our edge. It's a cool edge, too, let me tell you. I was talking to a friend, I don't want to name names, but in one roll, he won as much as $1,000 on a slot machine. On one roll. And it wasn't even him that was rolling. Someone else is rolling. He played conservatively until he was like, this guy knows what he's doing. And then he expanded and expanded and walked away with 18 and some change. I told you the amount. Sorry. But yeah, it can be done. The guy that was rolling, I didn't ask if he was dice setting, but he must have been. Had to be. I didn't ask. That was a question I should have asked. Yeah, I should have asked that question, but I didn't. I'll probably see him this weekend. I'll ask that question. Have a good one, guys. Like, share, subscribe. Thanks. Using that as a reference guide. Six. Eight. 10. Nine. Ten. Five. Six. Six. Yo. Eight. Heartache. Four. Midnight. That's the tall. Yo. Yo. Eight. Nine. Four. Two. I am missing the three. Six. Three. Here goes my all tall small. Six. Hard six. Ten. Midnight. Midnight. Can we do midnight one more time in a row? Oh, we can't. There goes my 7. All tall, small. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25 times. So we need to see if we can beat that random rolling. I think my point was 6 every single time. Okay, same spot. It's going to be a 5. It's going to be a 6. Another 6. Seven. One, two, three. Should we try one more time? 9. 8. Heartache. Heart 10. 4. 3. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Average is what? 7 for a random roller. 4. So now we hit our average. 7. I know that doesn't show much, but I hope you get the gist of it. Thanks for watching. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. It just helps. It just puts the channel out there for more people to see. I think my channel is different than everybody else's. I'm not saying everybody else's is bad. I'm just saying mine's different. Please leave comments. No matter what they are, leave comments. Tell me what you guys think. Thanks for watching. See you next time.